Hello there folks, and thanks for joining me once again on my tying bench. And today's fly, I'm going to tie you a mayfly spinner pattern that I tie quite often. And it's that time of year again, mayflies are out and about. And this pattern is one that I tie a lot, and it's very simple to tie. It's just a hackle wing spinner. And this is the style I tie most all my spinners with. I find it easier and just as effective as the polywing spinners and whatnot. And this is the female egg laying spinner version, and it has a little egg sac on the back. And not that hard to tie, so I thought I'd share this one with you. So we'll get this one out of the vise here, a fresh hook again, and we'll get started. And I'm using it size 12, mustad 94840. I tie them from a 12, sometimes a 10 for larger mayflies, and down to a 16 usually, sometimes even 18. Very simple version of a mayfly spinner. We'll get our hook locked in. Now we're just using some kapok dubbing. I love that dubbing for dry flies, any type of dry flies. We got some yellow for the egg sac, and I'm imitating a darker spinner, and I'm using some dark brown for the body. And some dark mico fibetts for the tail. And you can use, this is dark brown, you can use even a dark dun or even black, which according to what mayfly you're trying to match. Okay, so we'll get started here. First thing we're going to do is attach our thread, and I'm using some brown denville 6/0. Now the first thing we're going to do is start our thread about almost 3 eye lengths, I would say, around behind the eye here, and we're going to wrap our thread base back to above the barb here, just about. Now I'll snip off that tag end here. Okay, now we're going to grab some of the yellow kapok dubbing here, and we're just going to form a small little ball at the back for the egg sac. You don't need a very thick noodle, and it doesn't have to be a real big egg sac on it. Just so it's visible to the fish. Sometimes they key in on the ones with the egg sacs. Okay, so we're going to wrap that back and then form our little round egg sac here. Just like so. And don't worry if it doesn't come out perfect, as long as you can see it in the back there and the fish can see it. Alright, wrap forward again and stop where we started our thread. Okay, there's our little egg sac. Now, I'm just going to grab 2 of these micro fibetts here. I only use 2 for the tail and split those, so I'll grab 2 of those. And I usually make them about 1.5 lengths of the 1.5 times the length of the hook shank. So we'll bring those back, pinch them on top. Now we're going to wrap back towards our egg sac, and I want to jam that thread nice and tight against that little round ball there, and that'll sort of start splitting them for you, as so. Okay, and we'll snip off the excess of those at the front here. Alrighty, so there's those, and I'm going to make a little figure 8 wrap in between them just to keep them split here, just like so. Just like that. As you can see that there, pretty good. Alrighty, so next we're going to grab our brown kapok dubbing for the body. And the key to find the spinners is try to keep the body nice and thin on your spinners. Don't want to get them too thick. That's my general rule of thumb for my spinner patterns. Nice thin body on them. Alright. I'll get enough on here to wrap up our body. Alrighty. If you ever get a chance to pick up some of this kapok dubbing, grab it if you can, because it's really excellent material, real excellent dubbing to use for dry flies. Okay, now when I get to the back, I'm going to make another figure 8 with the dubbing between the micro fibetts for our tail here. Just like so, so that way I know they're going to stay split. Just like so there. Alright, and then wrap the body forward, and I'm probably going to have to put a little more on for this guy. Maybe not though, I think I got just the right amount. And as you can see, that's a nice thin body there. I didn't use a whole lot of dubbing for the body, kept it nice and thin. Alright, I'm just going to throw in a little 1/2 hitch here, just in case, you never know, if thread breaks you can save your work. Okay. Now for the wings, I like to use, or rather, excuse me, for the wings on the spinner, I like to use dun colored hackles when I wrap them. Light or medium or even dark dun, according to what mayfly you're imitating. I have a medium dun one ready here to wrap. Okay, I got 2 hackles here, and we're going to tie those in like we normally would on a dry fly to head wings. We'll tie it right on top, just like so, and then wrap forward on those stems. Trap them down good, nice and tight. Lock them in there. Snip those off, steadying the scissors with my thumb. Alright, just make sure they're in there good. I'm going to make one wrap behind them there, then come forward and stop my thread right behind the eye. Alright, so now we're going to wrap our hackles. We'll grab the first one here, bring them down around. Hook onto them with my hackle pliers here, folks. Alright, so we'll start wrapping this guy. And we're just going to wrap forward like we would on any dry fly. Keep our wraps nice and close together. We want to get a good thick hackle on these spinners because we're going to end up clipping the top and bottom hackle, so to form our wings. Okay, wrap this guy forward. Alright, right about there should be good. I'll come up around. Now I'm going to bring the thread over twice over top of that hackle tip. Grab my bobbin and snug it down nice and tight. Get thread tension nice and tight. Now I'm going to lift up on that. Make a couple wraps in front of it to lock it in there. Okay, now I'm just going to reach in with my scissors. Steady them and just snip that tip out like so. Alrighty, so we're going to just repeat that with the second hackle. I'll grab onto them here and bring them down around. Just like so. We'll grab them with the pliers. Okay, and as I wrap the second one like I normally do, slipped out there, I'll regain the grip on him there. I always zigzag my hackle back and forth on the second hackle. That way you try not to trap down too many fibers of your first hackle that you wrapped. And we'll just proceed forward, same as we did the first hackle, just like so. Bring them up around, come around with 2 wraps over top, snug the thread, release the pliers, grab that tip, couple wraps in front, lock it in there, and I'll come in and snip him out nice and easy like. There we go. Alright folks, we have our hackle wrapped for our spinner. Okay, so we're almost done here for our tying part. Okay, now I'm going to form a small head here on this guy, and I'll do a whip finish and we're done. Okay, that's good. Grab my whip finisher here, just gotta find it. Okay, alrighty. Now I'll just do a 4 or 5 turn whip finish on him. Okay, bring that down, seat the knot, snug it nice and tight there. Come in nice and close and snip it off. Alright, so there's our hackle wrapped. We have our egg sac and our split tails there, and a nice thin body on them. So what we do now is I'm going to take my fingers on the hackles here, and I'm going to, on the bottom on one side, I'm going to push up on some of the hackles, and on the top I'm going to push down. And then I'm going to grab whatever's in between after you do that, pull it down. That's the hackles that we're going to clip off. So it more or less looks like that. I don't think you can see it on there, but that's what I do. Pull some of the hackles up and some of them down. Then we're going to snip. I'll come in with my scissors, lay them flat, snip the top off. The bottom, come in where you had those hackles gathered. Snip. Just get rid of the excess there. Have a look. You can fiddle with it and just spread the hackles out a little if they got jammed up there a little. That looks good. I just got one stray hackle fiber there. Alrighty, so there we go. Done deal. It's so simple to tie, but that's how I tie all my spinners, and they've worked well for me for many, many years. And you can change, like I say, you can change the colors sizes to imitate whatever mayfly spinner you see on the water. And you don't have to put an egg sac in it. You can just imitate the male spinner as well. Just leave out the egg sac. So I'd recommend, if you have any of these materials, and you don't have, if you don't have kapok dubbing, don't worry about it. Just use your dry fly dubbing that you usually use and tie some of these up. I highly recommend it. Add them to your box in different sizes, different colors to match the hatches. So anyway, I'm gonna just take a little, what I use on these, just a little drop of head cement first here, folks, before I finish up. Just one little drop on the thread wraps around there, not too much on this fly. Okay, just a little bit all the way around. There we go. Alrighty folks, done deal. We'll see if I can zoom in on them for you here, and hopefully my focus will stay good. There we go. There, you can see that it's going to lay flat on the surface. The egg sac is quite pronounced on it. Very simple tie. So anyway, I want to thank you all for joining me once again. I appreciate it. And if you haven't seen my channel before and this is the first time, if you feel like subscribing, you'd like to see more, definitely hit the good old subscribe button there. Appreciate it. And throw a like down below too if you wish, and any comments, throw them down. I always read all the comments for sure, every time. I don't neglect your comments. I read them all and appreciate it. So until next time folks, like I always say, happy tying out there. We'll see you all again soon, and so long for now.